The housing crisis isn't what you think it is. I'm sure you've noticed that homes in your city are so out of reach for you and a lot of people. Most people focus on supply-side issues like building more houses or blaming immigration. While these play a role, many experts miss the bigger picture. The housing crisis is a result of a much bigger economic issue. This housing unaffordability crisis is happening everywhere, in major cities and even some rural areas. It seems absurd that a basic human need has become so unreachable for so many people. So, how did we end up here? Let's find out. Welcome to MoneyCuriousity. Let's get started. In the 1990s, a house was a shelter, a basic human need, just a place for people to live in. Nowadays, homes are more of investment vehicles, part of investment strategies. It's not just houses experiencing a crisis. Almost all asset classes, things that hold and generate value over time, are at an all-time high right now. Look into the price of land, gold, the stock market, and even art. What's critical is that all these long-term assets are now extremely high compared to average wages over the last 15 to 30 years. What has happened to house prices isn't unique to houses alone. Why? Well, give a wealthy person $1 million, and they will buy $1 million worth of assets. The rich have had a surplus of money over recent years, likely from record low interest rates, for one. So, of course, they use that capital to buy more assets. Housing is one of the easiest assets to own and borrow against, so it got hit with boosted demand. With a surge in global cash supplies comes more competition for a limited number of assets. This creates a self-reinforcing cycle. The rich buy assets, prices soar, the value of their existing assets increases, they get richer and buy more. The assets become unaffordable to the majority. This competition in the markets now also includes institutional investors, hedge funds, and even pension systems. Real estate is often safe from inflation and provides rather consistent returns, making it a good investment vehicle for these giants. And it's not likely they buy homes just to live in them. They can get returns just by owning them. So institutional buyers started buying tons of homes in bulk as financial products, further driving up prices as suppliers sell to the highest bidders. For instance, we've recently seen massive institutional investors, like private equity firms and hedge funds, buying up huge swaths of single-family homes. They are taking affordable inventory and converting it into rental assets, removing it from the ownership market entirely. When rates are near zero, the rich can borrow money incredibly cheaply. When borrowing is virtually free, it creates a massive incentive for wealthy individuals and institutional investors to take out cheap loans and pour that liquidity directly into assets. This massive influx of cheap capital dramatically increases demand for assets like real estate, pushing up their prices. Simultaneously, the supply of housing has been limited. If you've found this video helpful to you so far, please like and subscribe. And share this video with anyone who may benefit from it. If supply is a problem, why not just build more houses? More houses should bring the price of housing down, right? In theory, yes. Go into almost any big city, and you'll see a ton of construction projects. We are building more houses, but at a relatively slower rate. Zoning laws, height caps, and approvals are some of the tighter restrictions made to construction that drove up the cost of land for development. Prices started to reflect scarcity caused by policies like these. That money went straight into cities with limited supply, sending prices even higher. As the value of houses rose, more capital was attracted, reinforcing a feedback loop for housing prices to increase. At the same time, wages have been relatively stagnant. Since the 1990s, home prices and wages stopped moving together. Home prices surged while wages stayed the same, even as other living costs rose from inflation. People had to stretch into further debt to afford a house, spending more of their income on mortgages and rent payments. Remote work helped spread out demand into smaller towns and cities. But rising construction costs, labor shortages, and issues with supply chains during the pandemic slowed down projects. And the homes already built were held by owners who didn't want to sell because many were locked into really low mortgage payments and experiencing good returns on their assets. This helped freeze the home supply while demand for houses continued to soar. So, in summary, land restrictions, stagnant wages, flooding the money supply with cheap money, and letting asset prices rise astronomically all aided in making homes so unaffordable. I hope this was a useful video that helped you better understand why we are in a housing crisis right now. Thanks for watching.